Furiosa is the newest blockbuster in the cinemas. Let's talk about it. Furiosa is the latest movie in the Mad Max franchise, a franchise that I absolutely love. Now, I've covered the previous 4 movies in the franchise, so you can check that out on my channel. But we're here to talk about Furiosa, if I can say it properly. I don't know what happened. I just had a stroke or a brain fart or something like that. But anyway, Furiosa is a movie that I've been very much anticipating. I mean, I love Fury Road. I love Furiosa, the character in that one. So to hear we were getting a backstory to her and showcasing where she came from and what made her this absolute insane badass woman in Fury Road. So excited to see it. And after seeing it, I think it was absolutely fantastic. I had an absolute ball with this movie. Now, this does dive into a lot of things that I feel like enhance Fury Road for me now. Especially the backstory to Furiosa, the backstory to Immortan Joe, you know, the conflict that led everything to Fury Road and why it is. There's obviously a sneak thing in here as well. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but that was cool to see as well. But I really, really enjoyed it. Now, I don't particularly think this is as visually good as Fury Road. I think Fury Road looks better in my opinion than this one, but this one did look gorgeous, especially on the IMAX screen. There was a lot of shots that I really, really enjoyed that just were fantastic. It really was. And like the vibrant colors, like it's in the middle of a desert in my home country of Australia, and yet somehow they made the desert look vibrant and colorful and beautiful, which is crazy to me. Really is. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Chris Hemsworth in this movie. He is fantastic here. He is so freaking good. And now I've seen people say, Chris Hemsworth's so good as a villain. We know this. We know how good this guy is. And look, we see him as the hero Thor, and he's great as Thor. But when you see him in bad times play a villain, he is just insanely great at doing it. And the character he plays in this movie, he is so good at it. It's like this very psychotic, unhinged person that is calculated and believes he's smarter than everyone else. And when he is there, he has no remorse for anyone or anything. And I really liked how Chris Hemsworth played that character and brought that to life. It was just a joy to see. And obviously you have Anya Taylor-Joy. She is coming in to play Furiosa, a younger version of her. And she's just really, really good in it. And I really liked how they told the story of Furiosa and gave her that backstory when we see her as a kid. Surprisingly, a lot more of the movie was directed to her as a child at the early part of the film that I didn't expect to get that much detail to that. I thought we were going to get flashback here and there of her being a little kid, but no. We get the full story of how she was taken, what happened with her and everything like that. And then it kind of makes you think that she's been put in this situation where there's 2 people, Immortan Joe and then the Chris Hemsworth character. Both are horrible people. They are both horrible people. And it's like at that point, it becomes like 2 bad people going at it. And you have to choose a side. And not necessarily you have to choose a side because one of them's better than the other one. They're both as bad as each other. But you just have to pick a side. And obviously when we understand where Furiosa's coming from and what happened to her, you understand the hatred she has for the Chris Hemsworth character and why she went down the route that she had to go with Immortan Joe in order to, you know, try and get that revenge on this particular person. Now, the Furiosa character herself, fantastic. Love it. And it just added extra layers. And in here we see how much of a badass she is. And it translates into Fury Road. And it all works. It really, really does. And look, one thing I wish we knew more about was the green place and her people and her mother, because her mother's really badass in here as well, and I wanted to see a bit more of that. But obviously that's not going to be a part of this movie. You just kind of have to take that. But I would like to see a bit more of that, how that fell and everything like that. And because there's a character that you see at the start that you see later on in the movie, and I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, so how does that correlate with what's happened here? How did we get from that point to this point? So I kind of wanted to understand and see more of that. So, but that was great. It was great. The action is superb, man. The action is superb. Oh, just when, like, Mad Max is a franchise that is just chaotic, that is bloody, that is gory. I would argue that this may have the most graphic scenes of all the Mad Max movies. Dude, the way that Furiosa loses her hand, the visuals, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for it, but it was freaking sick. And, oh man, it was graphic. And there's some scenes in here that I think could be a hard watch for some people. When you see it and you see what happens, like there's this thing with 5 bikes, bro. 5 bikes in chains. It's mental. And the start, bro, the start. Oh my, I was trying to figure out what the fudge are they trying to do here? But like, it's all implied in that. So the action's great. And then you get the chases on, some chases on Fury Road. The one thing I was a little bit disappointed is they teased like this big gigantic battle and war that's going on between Immortan Joe and his, factions. And then obviously what's happening with Chris Hemsworth character. They tease this giant war. I would have liked to see that war. Even if it was like, I don't expect to see the whole entire thing because it's a very long war. But I wanted to see more of it. It kind of happens and then you don't see much of it. And then it's like, okay, now we're on to this next part here. So to me, that's a little downside for me. That kind of, if I saw that, that would have elevated this movie even more. Because I don't think it's as action-packed as Fury Road and Road Warrior are. But it's still good. It's still good. It's still, the thing that I loved about it, because there's no Max in this movie. And obviously Max is a big part of the Mad Max franchise. He's not the focal point of this movie or anything like that. This is strictly Furiosa and her, basically her story and how she became where she was in Fury Road. So to take the main character out and to deliver a story and make it still feel like it's Mad Max, I got to give him credit for that, because this still feels like it's in the Mad Max world. It feels like it encapsulates what it is and showcases you it on the forefront and goes, look, we're still in the Mad Max world. It's still as crazy as you remember, but it's just going to be with a different character. So, look, man, I really enjoyed it. I thought the performances were great. I think it was fantastic action. It's a good-looking film. Not as good-looking as Fury Road, but still very good-looking. Great villains as well. I really enjoyed the conflict between the villains and where they did. And I like how there's no good person. Like, obviously, we know Furiosa and what she's doing, but there's no, like, hero versus villain story. It's a revenge story. That's what this is. So I really enjoyed it. So let me know what you guys think of Furiosa. Did you guys enjoy it? Smash it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.